1961 Ferrari 250 GT, California. Less than 100 were made. My father spent 3 years restoring this car. It is his love. It is his passion.
It is his fault he didn't lock the garage.
6.5 hours later.
Hello dear viewers, welcome back to another video. We are here at the Marina circuit in the newly added Ferrari 296 GT3, and coming into the first corner we've already gained 2 positions. We're already off to a great start, and coming through the twisty section of the track we can see the Lexus up front lagging tremendously. So I decided to play it safe and stay defensive for the rest of the lap. But as we come up to turn 8, there's a massive moment between the Lexus and the Ferrari. And I nearly make up a position, but the Ferrari manages to stay alongside me down this straight. But moving forward to the next corner, the Ferrari tries to go for a move. He bumps the Lexus up front, and then I completely bin it into the wall. I got caught on the sausage curb. But fast forwarding a few laps after my incident, I'm able to catch up to the group I was previously with. And I easily make up one position because the Ferrari behind made a mistake. And coming through this twisty section, the Lexus goes off the track, rejoins. He goes for a move up the inside here, completely sends it. He goes ridiculously deep. I'm able to get a switch back on the Lexus. Then I get in the slipstream of Oscar Piastri in front. I didn't know he played this game, but I get in the slipstream. I pull out to the left-hand side, and I get the job done coming in through this corner. I do think I went a little bit deep, but I was able to stick it. Now later in the lap, the Ferrari up front, I don't know what happens here, but he just loses the will to drive. I guess he just forgot how to brake. I'm not exactly sure what happened there, but I make up another position. Moving on to the following lap, in Sector 1, there's a yellow flag, and the second place holder is driving slowly. I'm assuming he made a mistake coming out of that corner. But I go for a move. I nearly bin it trying to make the switch back, but I hold it just before the rear snaps. And I get back in his slipstream down the straight. And now coming into the chicane, I get a slightly better entry and exit through here, which gives me a great launch onto this straight. And here, he seems to be a very aggressive driver, and he holds the inside line. I go on the outside. He leaves me the space, but coming into this corner, I decided I'd brake a little bit earlier so I could get a better line through here, because I know he'd run deep, but somehow he's able to stay alongside me despite running deep. And coming into these final few corners, I think he just maybe brakes a little too late here because he runs deep. I try to pull the switch back through these final 2 corners in this little section here, but it doesn't work out. So he fights, so he keeps his position once again for another lap. And of course I still have 3.2 miles left to overtake him. But coming down the main straight here, I get a great exit. He stays on the inside. I try to go around the outside, and it just barely works. I do think I gave him a little bit of a shove inadvertently. Of course I didn't mean to do that, but I come home in 2nd place for my first race. Now for my second race, I started in 7th, which I almost never qualify, and I usually qualify within the top 5. But I start right on the final corner of the circuit, so I get a terrible start off the first straight. And fortunately for me, one of the drivers happened to be AFK, so I made up a position. However, moving forward down the back straight here, a few of the cars up front are gonna have a little incident as 3 cars run off the track, and I also get a great exit out of this corner. So I get in the slipstream of this Lamborghini in the back of the train, coming up to, honestly, my favorite corner of the track. I go around the outside. I nearly pull off the move all the way around the outside, but I run a little bit deep, so it doesn't quite work out for me. However, I still am a massive thorn in this Lamborghini's side. So coming up into this corner, I think about sending it up the inside, and I think the Lamborghini thought I was going to do it too, but I didn't, and I was able to pull the old switcheroo on him and move up into 5th place. Moving on to the next lap, the Ferrari up front is just going to forget how to brake into this corner, and I'm going to send one up the inside accidentally. But he does get a good exit out of the corner compared to me. So coming up to this chicane, he's going to send one up the inside, and he does a good job to cover me off. But I still manage to get a good exit and get in his slipstream down this back straight. And this is the clip that you saw at the beginning of the video, where I nearly get the overtake done, but I catch the car on the curb and spin it out. And this was a pretty devastating moment for me. I nearly rage quit here, but I didn't. But a while later, I'm able to catch up to the Ferrari in 6th place, and I get a move down my favorite corner on the track. And that was about it for that race, which kind of sucked because I made up a lot of ground and I lost it all. Now on to the final race, and here I'm starting in 1st place. I don't remember whether or not I got the fastest lap or not because this was a public lobby, but I start in 1st. I cover the inside, but I get pushed around in the back and someone manages to slide in front of me coming into the 1st corner. So I've already dropped down 1 position. And this Ferrari up front and I are about to have a great battle for the rest of the race. But up here, I'm going to send one up the inside. I do get the move done, just barely. But he's still alongside me down this straight. And moving forward onto the next chicane here, he's going to send one up the inside. He covers it off well, but he does go a little bit deep. And I'm able to get a good exit out of that chicane. However, nothing really happens for the rest of the lap, so I'm going to move on to lap 2. I'm going to go for a bit of a dummy move up the inside. That kind of catches him off guard a little bit. I'm able to get a great exit out of this corner and get in his slipstream. And as we move down this straight, I'm going to just squeeze my way up the inside. He leaves me the space, fortunately. I kind of understeer here, and I push him wide a little bit, which I did not mean to do. But he still manages to stay alongside me through here. But he manages to stay ahead, and nothing really happens for the rest of this lap. But the following lap, he has a little bit of a moment here. He thinks I'm going for a move, but I don't really. And I get a great exit out of this corner here. I'm in his slipstream. I'm able to get alongside him down this straight. And shockingly, he and I kind of even out through that corner there. But he does manage to get a better exit than I do, and he gets back alongside me down this straight here. I hold the inside. He goes for a move around the outside, Once again, I kind of understeer a little bit. I'm not intentionally shoving him off, but I leave him the space on the outside. And he once again stays ahead. But moving on to the next lap, the car in third manages to catch up because of all the fighting we've been doing. So he gets past me through turn 1. And throughout this entire lap, I essentially watched the two Ferraris up front fight each other. But I'm not going to show you the full thing. I'm just going to fast forward through a lot of it because it's kind of boring. But on the final lap, it's basically a three-way battle for first place. And coming into turn 1 here, the American up front is weaving like crazy. I think he was a little bit paranoid coming through that corner because he runs wide. And the Canadian has a look up the inside. They bang wheels with each other. Coming through here, I get a good exit, but this is where the biggest disaster of the video happens, as the Canadian cuts across the track. He brakes before the 50-meter board, which I was not expecting. I run into the back of him, and in turn, he runs into the back of the American, and they both go off the track, which was totally my fault, but I managed to make up a position inadvertently by doing that. And the American still stayed ahead throughout all of this, which is pretty amazing. But he's still weaving like crazy on the straights. I guess he thinks he's Max Verstappen or something. But coming into the chicane, I send one up the inside, a very late move, and he cuts the corner. I guess he also thinks he's Lewis Hamilton, because he cuts the corner and he takes the race win. I'm not pissed at all.